Good morning, everybody. If you will, please make your way to your seats. I know we have some folks still coming in. I think they're working on a couple of chairs, but if you will, please make your way to a seat and we'll get started here in just a moment. All right. Good morning, everybody. I'll apologize in advance for not standing up the whole time. I have Winston, our new crisis response and therapy dog in training. He's 10 months old and has been with us a week and a half. And if I get up and walk back and forth to the podium, he is going to pace back and forth probably the whole time with me. So as we get started here, I would like to thank everyone for being here today, of course. A big thank you to Scotland County for hosting us and for the very warm welcome we've had here to their beautiful facility. Thank you to all of our commercial partners that are with us today and those who continue to support our associations to make events like this possible, even when they can't always be here. A special thank you today on top of that to our lunch sponsor, Rapid SOS. Before we go any further, I'd like to welcome Scotland County's 911 Director, Ms. Samantha Dutch, up to the front just to say hello and maybe a few housekeeping details as well.
Good morning. How is everybody? Good. So thank you for being here. We're really glad to be hosting you here today. Housekeeping. Straight out into the foyer. First hallway on the right is going to be your restrooms. There's also a vending machine out there. It takes cards, cash. The cans for the drinks are on the bottom and then snacks are on the top. So if we need to exit in an emergency, there is a door at the back here to the right, and then of course also to the front door that you came in. So does anybody have any questions about anything? All right, thank you so much.
All right, if everyone will please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, and with that, I skipped over this at the very first part. We'll go ahead and call this bi-monthly meeting of the North Carolina chapter of NENA to order. Again, thank you guys for being here. My name is Jason Compton. I'm the chapter president for, I think, 50 some more days. Christine, isn't that right? With us today, we'll go through the roll call. We have some folks that are attending online and some folks that are not with us today. Our first vice president, Ryan Chambers, is in a training class today with the fire department and was not able to be here. Our second vice president, Rick Thomas, is joining us virtually this morning. Way down at the end, I believe he's still there, is our immediate past president, Alan Kress. We have our chapter treasurer, Jameson Sears, right here to my left. Chapter secretary, Candy Miller. Our Western region representative, Brian Drum. our Central Region Representative, Corey Bodie. Our private sector representative, Jennifer Taylor, is currently in Portugal on a business travel. Our North Carolina 911 Board Representative, Donna Wright, is unable to be with us today. Please keep her in your thoughts and prayers. She is in Chapel Hill with her brother, who remains hospitalized. Our board member at large, Victor Williams, and then our wellness directors are all virtual with us today. Western Region Director, Monica Howard, Central Region Director, Ashley Warner, and Eastern Region Wellness Director, Kaylee Green. And last but certainly not least is our Media Committee Chair and Technical Advisor, Mr. Stephen Smith. All right, special recognitions coming along here. If you will, please rise. If this category applies to you, I know a few of you will remain standing for a few minutes here. NENA Hall of Fame members. We have any of those with us here today? NENA past presidents. Told you to keep standing, Alan. All right. Emergency number professionals, EMPs. Thank you. Center Manager Certification Program, CMCP graduates. Yeah, look at that big number. All right. Any first-time attendees? Yeah. All right. Okay. There we go. Y'all stay standing for just a second so Jameson can see who you are, at least flag her down so she can give you a little token for thank you for being here. All right. And then once again, last but certainly not least, I believe we have at least one here today, a National NENA board member, Melanie. All right. Next is just our consent agenda for our minutes from our last meeting in, this is March, so January. Let me get that right. They are posted online to our website. And along with that, I'll do this for her since she's still walking around, is Jameson. Actually, here she comes, so she can tell me. Hang on one second. All right, she's pulling up an update. Hold on one second. This is for our treasurer's report.
In the checking account, we have $22,897.68. In the savings account, $68,666.48 for a total of $91,564.16.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, I'll gladly entertain a motion to accept these as presented. I have a motion from Stephen. Second from Christine. Thank you, ma'am. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed, please say no. All right. With none heard, I believe the ayes have it. Next up is our president's report. I want to take just a moment or two here to recognize two individuals who have passed away in the last month since we last met. For those of you who are not aware, Sanford Police lost one of their folks on duty. Sanford Police Department Supervisor Judy Wicker collapsed while at a telecommunicator certification school at the Wake County or the Wake Tech Public Safety Education Campus at Wake Tech in downtown Raleigh, and unfortunately passed away. She was a 25-year veteran and touched many, both sworn and civilian. She had 6 coworkers in the class with her who witnessed this event. I'm aware that the instructor and several of the students provided emergency aid to her, including CPR. She was successfully resuscitated by her classmates and first responders who came to the scene. She went over to Wake Med, where she remained in the ICU for a short period before passing away. Judy had recently lost her husband about 6 months ago as well. So please keep her family and certainly the folks from Sanford in your thoughts and prayers. I don't have any information about arrangements, but I do know that we will pass those along to the membership of both associations as soon as we become aware of what those plans are. Also, I would like to take a moment to recognize Mr. Bill French, NENA's Eastern Region representative and the director of the Lumberton 911 Center. Bill has been one of our staunchest advocates in 911 in the state, and certainly for Nina. And he is a big loss to us. I'm going to read his obituary, and hopefully I can get through all of this. Mr. William Bill Foster French, 77, of Lumberton, passed away on Wednesday, February 15th, 2023 at Duke University Hospital in Durham. He was born in Robeson County on February 2nd, 1946, to the late William F. French Sr. and the late Doris McMillan French. Bill graduated from Lumberton High School in 1964 and went on to attend Mars Hill College and King's College in Charlotte. Upon graduating from King's College in 1968, he joined the U.S. Air Force, where he served until 1974, reaching the rank of Staff Sergeant. He was a ham radio operator since high school, which ultimately led to his current position of Director of Lumberton Communications since 2017. Before then, he served in several capacities, including Assistant Director, Safety Director for the City of Lumberton, Emergency Medical Telecommunicator for Robeson County Communications, member of the Lumberton Amateur Radio Association, and honorary lifetime member of the Lumberton Rescue Unit. He held several certifications, and his experience with communications allowed him the opportunity to serve as a part-time instructor for Robeson Community College, teaching medical responder, CPR, and first aid courses since 1993. His many certifications for 911 included National Emergency Number Association, Emergency Dispatch Quality Assurance, Critical Incident Stress Management, and Center Manager Certification Program, CMCP, which we all know he was very proud of. Aside from his very many years of service to the City of Lumberton, he previously worked in printing and office supply business for 30 years as an inside office manager for Herald Office Supplies and general manager for Robeson Office Supplies. As a member of the Lumberton Rotary Club, he was especially proud of serving as president in 1976, district governor's representative during the early 80s, and he was a 32nd degree Master Mason from Lodge 114. At Chestnut Street Methodist Church, he served as the Education Committee, served several terms on the Administrative Board, Chairman of the Staff Parish Committee, and lay leader from 1993 to 1995. He was the president of Covenant Sunday School class, member of the Finance Committee, the CSMC Choir, the Chestnut Street Methodist Men, and in 2021, he was awarded the Chestnut Street UMC Man of the Year 2021 as well. The Boy Scouts Cape Fear Council was fortunate to have Bill as a dedicated troop leader. In 1985, Bill first registered with Troop 333. In the years following, he volunteered an innumerable amount and received many awards and accolades, including Cape Fear Council District Award of Merit, Order of the Arrow Vigil Honor, Life Member of the Clahican Lodge, I probably didn't say that right, Order of the Arrow, Cape Fear Council Silver Beaver Award, Order of the Arrow Founders Award, Wood Badge Staff, NOAC Delegation Advisor, and staff for Shawando staff together again, Council Kimberly. In addition to troop leader, he served as Order of the Arrow Chapter Advisor for 11 years and Section Advisor for 3 years. And there are many, many more awards listed from the Scouts here as well. He is survived by his wife of 55 years, Sheila C. French of the home, his children Clary of Wilmington, Brad and wife Shannon of Mount Pleasant, his grandchildren Tyler, Noah, Raleigh, and Decker, his beloved sister Mary French Crofton of Lumberton, as well as Brenda Clary and husband Wayne of Florence, Melba Bridges and husband Bill of Shelby, his niece Holly and husband Sean, his great niece Bailey, and many beloved nieces, nephews, coworkers, and friends. I want to thank you guys for the support that you've shown to our board in this loss, and also to Bill's staff in Lumberton. I know that Tammy is with us today. Please keep all of them in your thoughts and prayers over the coming months, and certainly of his wife Sheila and their family. And if we all could just have a moment of silence, both for Judy and Bill. Thank you. All right, that will be me for my report today. And we'll go now to the National NINA report from Miss Melanie Jones, National NINA second vice president.
Thank you, Jason. I have some notes on my phone and some on paper, so I'll go through all of them. So NINA 2023 registration opened on Wednesday, and there are discounted prices through March 31st, and that is in Grapevine, Texas this year. If you're interested in going, please register and get the discounted price early. Excuse me. We now have over 19,400 members in NINA. We are accepting Gold Line Scholarship applicants now to attend NINA 2023. Those applications are open until March the 31st, and they are only available to telecommunicators. Managers and supervisors are not eligible. There are recruitment videos on NINA's website that they have done 3 or 4 short videos to share for recruitment purposes, as well as the ones that the state has from the State 911 Board. NINA has launched their telecommunicator core competencies class in 2021, and we are seeing significant growth in its popularity. That's the 40-hour course for TCs. At this time, though he is not here, I would like to congratulate North Carolina's newest ENP, who is Madison County's Caleb Dispenza. And I received that notification yesterday. So congratulations, Caleb. 911 Goes to Washington was a huge success 3 weeks ago. We had over 60 meetings held over 2 days. In February, NINA hired Jonathan Gillard as the new government affairs director. He had over a decade of experience working with nonprofit organizations, and he was instrumental in securing meetings for the NINA executive board with all 4 corners of Congress. They were very receptive and listened to everything we had to share. So we were very appreciative to him for that. As we approach 911 Education Month and TC Week, the Telecommunicator Tree of Life, which is a collaboration between NINA, the Next Gen 911 Institute, NASNA, the Department of Defense, and the National 911 Program, and APCO, is a great way to honor and celebrate our individuals who serve each day. If you will go to 911treeoflife.org to share an inspiring story recognizing a telecommunicator. And last but not least, the 2 asks that we had this year that we need to take forward through the year are funding by using the FCC Spectrum auction revenue towards Next Generation 911 deployment, and to reintroduce and pass the 911 Saves Act. Thank you.
Thank you, Melanie. Come here, Winston. All right, next up is our North Carolina 911 board report. As I mentioned earlier, Donna is not able to be with us here today, and I'm going to put you on the spot. Pokey, do you have anything that you would like to report out, ma'am? Will you come up so they can see you online and hear you? Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. The 911 board stays busy. I do want to say thank you, Melanie, for mentioning 911 Goes to Washington, a great success. I'm glad you mentioned the number of meetings. I will call on you in April to share that with the full board. But we are going into grant season for the board. Workshop is coming up. If you are interested in a grant, please be sure to register by the 17th. And then we will have the workshop on the 23rd, and then we'll move along into that. The 911 board, we are looking at the closeout of a year. It's hard to believe we're almost into the last quarter of fiscal year. So I know that the regional coordinators are working with everyone for reporting to get that completed, looking at your financial planning tool, et cetera. The board's committees have been very, very busy. Education committee met yesterday. We have a lot of information going forward or classes going forward for training. That is a focus of the board. As you all know, and everyone knows Angie Turbeville, that's in her heart. She is a phenomenal educator and trainer. So we thank her for leading that effort. The standards committee will be meeting in April. They continue to look at their goals and objectives. One of the things that they're wanting to do is to look at classifying or making a determination about PSAPs as far as trying to type them. That has been an arduous task, I will tell you, because there's nothing out there for that committee to go by in order to do that. It just doesn't exist. Funding committee, they'll be looking at the board's budget. Again, the year's closing, we're going into a new one. They'll be looking at that budget in April. So they'll have their hands full in working with that as well. Speaking about telecommunicators, we were very fortunate to be able to take forward statements to the House and the Senate. Unfortunately, we cannot take resolutions, but we were able to take statements to look at the identification and recognition of telecommunicators as first responders. We'll be looking for comment and input on the classification of telecommunicators. We hear a lot in the SAVES Act about reclassification. North Carolina does not have a classification system for any job in the state. So we can't even reclass. We're going to have to look at classifying telecommunicators. All suggestions on that are very much welcome, because it is going to be a task for the legislative liaison to begin to formulate and put together the information that needs to go forward on that. It will be a long process. She's already let us know that anything like that is going to be very long and complicated to accomplish. Melanie, can you think of anything else?
So many people, when they read the statements, they were posting that they classified us first responders, and North Carolina doesn't have a classification. So
Yeah, no.
It's just they
Recognized. Yes.
So,
Yeah. And for
move forward with the classification process. Please stay engaged.
yeah, because there is no job in North Carolina has a classification. So that's what's difficult about the whole thing. I heard Vic go, yeah. So other states are trying to get this as a reclass. So none of us in this room have a job classification. I think that's all.
All righty. Just looking quickly to see our folks that are online with us today before calling on the next one. All right. Looks like we do not have someone on from the SWIC's office, so we will bypass that one this morning. Our Commercial Advisory Council, or CAC update from Jennifer Taylor. She did email a report to me, a short report rather. So I'll go through that for her in her absence. Both Gary and Jennifer want to again encourage everyone to share their news from the commercial partner side. Our members want to know what's going on with our commercial partners, and it is a great time to talk about sponsorships, new hires, new products, etc. Please be on the lookout for North Carolina Public Safety Conference Vendor Hall floor plan the week of April 3rd. You should also receive an exhibitor packet in the next week. This packet will contain all of the necessary information for setting up your booth and confirming the vendor hall schedule. If you haven't registered for the conference, please do so, and feel free to contact us if you have any questions on sponsorship levels. That's Jennifer Taylor from SBFI and Gary Laughlin from CRS. And of course, if you don't have their contact information or can't reach them, you're more than welcome to reach out to anybody on either the APCO or the NENA board, and especially Christine and I will be glad to take care of you ourselves or get you connected with the right person. All right, that will take us on to our committee reports. First up is the Western Region report from Mr. Brian Drum.
Good morning. So good reports from the West this month. Story from Cleveland County reports that she had 2 members just graduate from the inaugural CVCC Telecommunicator Academy. The academy is 6 weeks long. when the candidates come out, they come out with their telecommunicator certification and their National Academy EMD, along with several other blocks of study, all the ICS classes. Cleveland County reports that they have 2 vacant positions currently. You can go to their county website to for more details, and Story keeps touting that they have the best or the most competitive benefits package in the state. They are currently wrapping up their partnership with Atrium Health in the Kid Tips and Safe Teens program. The participants or allows them the opportunity to interact with 2,000 second graders in Cleveland County. It also provides driver's education and safe 911 usage education through the driver's education course. Their partnership with Cleveland Community College for a summer enrichment program to high school students is a 1-day program that allows enrolled participants to participate in a hands-on 911 experience in hopes of educating and enriching participants in our awarding career path. Stephanie Wiseman from Mitchell reports that they have all their staff back that was out on medical leave, and they've also recently hired 2 employees. They're, of course, always looking for additional staffing, especially due to the increase of non-911 related calls into their center. Amber Kleppy, I think, from Hendersonville Police Department reports that they are fully staffed. Scott Lambert from Gaston County reports that they just recently went live on the countywide U.S. Digital Designs automated fire dispatch product, and they're having great success. It makes the dispatch process much faster, reduces errors, and improves consistency. Now their next step is looking to go to EMS dispatch. Sonia from Gaston reports that they have had 4 that received their advanced telecommunicator certifications through the sheriff standards. They were also able to get a $600 advanced certificate pay that is paid out annually. And since July, they have had 3 CPR saves. They currently have 12 positions and their starting pay is $19.88. Candy from Iredell reports the promotion of Christy Harbison to training officer 2. They've just entered into a contract with Motorola, moving to a 1 consolidated Viper simulcast system for the county, and has hired mission critical partners as a consultant to oversee the project. They currently have 4 openings, 2 TC2s, 2 TC1 call takers. They also have part-time positions, and they are currently interviewing for 3 open apprenticeship positions. Corinne from Medic reports one of their supervisors just finished CMCP course here in Robeson County. Medic is working on a response configuration, less lights and siren project for EMS in Mecklenburg County, which includes CAD to CAD note share project with Charlotte Fire and adding their first responders to their marvelous system and enable their dispatch to enable their EMDTs in their response vehicles. They're also starting an assessment center for CTOs and EMS controllers as full-time positions, which will be a 10% pay increase for those successful in their assessments. We've also completed the CAAS process for American Ambulance Association and are working on their ACE application for EMD. They'll be sending a telecommunicator CTO to EMD instructor school in May, and will hopefully be hosting an EMD EFD courses again soon. They are hosting an International Academy Medical Emergency Dispatch mentor course at their agency in July. They have 3 new TCs starting March 21, and their current budget focus is on with the county is pay increases, including compression pay. Bill Gibbs with Lincoln reports they are slowly moving through their CAD project and they're currently down 5 positions. Phil York with Rowan reports that they're working through continue to work through a very large radio project, and they, like anyone else, has continued to fight staffing issues. They're currently down 3 people. They have six others that are currently in some level of training, and Chavella from the Eastern Band just sent me something, so let me look at that one. They have 2 current vacancy positions in their center and have 1 new telecommunicator, Kayla Ball. And that's all I have to report. And I'm gonna pass it to Corey.
All right, Kyle Thaggard with High Point currently has 6 in training, 1 in the hiring phase with 1 more vacancy. If interested applying, go to highpointnc.gov. High Point is also hosting a APCO supervisors course on March 31st through April 2nd. Registration is available through the NC APCO website. Melanie Jones with Guilford Metro has 19 openings. They are actively doing CAD and RMS demos with different vendors. Kenneth Everett with Caswell County reports that they have 2 open positions with Josh Benfield and Heather Massey being promoted to operations managers. Apex PD is taking applications for TCs and shift supervisor. They are accepting applications until March 24th. They have a 30-second hiring video on their Facebook. Please go check it out. Johnson County reports they are in the construction phase of their new 911 center with the completion date of May of 2023. Cary PD reports they have 5 openings, 1 supervisor opening. They have interviews going on over the next 2 weeks, and their interview for their shift supervisor to happen next week. Jeremy Schwartzman was promoted to their operations supervisor. Fiscal year 2024, they are moving to the One Solution Unify CAD to CAD. They will be seeking a grant for all non-eligible costs. They're looking for any PSAPs that may be interested in joining their CAD to CAD solution. And last but not least, they are putting the finishing touches on a RFQ for a consultant in search of a CAD and RMS product for their fiscal year of 2025. And that is all I have for my report.
All righty. Ryan is again in training with the fire department this morning and is unable to be with us, so I'll give his membership committee report. Membership for North Carolina NENA is at 973 today. So thank you to all of you that renewed and joined us new since our January meeting. That is about a change of 200 folks. A lot of folks that did not get their membership renewal by first of the year have done so. Thank you for that. That said, we need 27 new members to cross the 1,000 member threshold. I believe there, Melanie, only 4 chapters in the country that have more than 1,000 members, 4 chapters. So we aim to be number 5 by the next time we see you guys in May at our conference. So if you have questions about membership, come talk to us, come talk to me. There are great group memberships. Telecommunicator memberships are only $50, $55. Melanie, do you know? The TC membership is at 50 or 55? 55. Sorry, you would think I would know that. $55 to be a TC membership. So that is between the group membership or individual memberships for TCs. That's a great way to become a member of NENA and to help us out there. So please, if you have questions or if you know an agency that is not a member, let me know if you've got a good contact there, and we'll be glad to make an introduction and see what we can do to get them to join and show them how we can represent their interests here. So thank you for that. As Melanie said earlier, there are just more than 19,400 members of NENA. And that will be it for the membership committee report. On to awards committee. We have received several nominations for annual awards, but we are still soliciting nominations for those awards to be presented at the 2023 North Carolina Public Safety Communications Conference this May in Wilmington. Please remember that even if you have nominated someone from your staff, for one of our sister chapters awards over at NC APCO, that you should definitely submit that nomination again to NC NINA and vice versa. This, of course, doubles your chances of having your folks recognized. And the two associations do work together to make sure that we're not awarding the same folks. So you really are expanding your chances of having your folks recognized when you submit those nominations to both APCO and NINA. So as a reminder, our award categories are Communications Center Employee of the Year, Supervisor of the Year, Support Personnel of the Year, CTO of the Year, Leader or Director of the Year, 911 Center or ECC of the Year, Outstanding Commercial Member of the Year, and Positive Influencer of the Year. As a reminder as well, we accept nominations throughout the year for commendations to be awarded at chapter meetings. Those receiving commendations can also be eligible for an annual award. So please let us know of someone who deserves recognition for a job well done whenever you come across it. Both the annual awards and the commendation submission forms can be found on www.ncnina.org under the awards and recognitions tab. I believe our annual awards are open till April 4th. Is that correct? April 1st. My apologies. All right. We are going to forego the conference committee report that will be given by Miss Missy Ezel during the North Carolina APCO meetings. So thank you for that, ma'am. Our wellness committee report, I'll just briefly stop on that to say, for those of you who are not already aware, our January wellness retreat out in the Outer Banks was a phenomenal success. I really can't find the words to appropriately describe how pleased we have been with that, how well it went, and the things that we have seen and the feedback we've gotten from folks who attended. This really was, I believe, a life-changing experience for a number of people who attended. We very much look forward to continuing to do this as an annual tradition going forward. We are in contract negotiations to secure the same location next January. We will do other wellness events and promote trainings throughout the year as well. I hope that one day we may be able to get to the position where we can hold multiple retreats a year. But there's a lot that goes into that event, and it does take a lot of time for board staff and wellness committee staff as well, just being present at the retreat and all the planning work that goes into it. So right now, I don't know that we'll get another retreat in that same setup more than once a year, but we are working towards that. So if you have questions, if something is occurring in your center or a neighboring center, a critical incident or potentially traumatic event of some other type, please let us know so that we can reach out and ensure that folks are getting the support they need, whether it's from our peer team members directly, or we can connect you with a whole host of other resources that are spread out across the state, from debriefings to one-on-one peer team members, all the way up to clinician referrals that include care at little or no cost. So if you have questions, please reach out to me. All righty. I'm going to breeze down to the Education Committee from Secretary Candy Miller, and I'll pass the mic down.
Thank you. We have Sheriff Standards Training at Mitchell Community College offered April 13th through April 21st. We have EMD class offered Burke County Emergency Communications, April 3rd through April 5th. Also an EMD class at College of Albemarle in Elizabeth City offered April 4th through April 6th, as well as EMD at New Hanover 911 Communications in Wilmington, April 10th through April 12th. NINA class registration on the nina.org association website. We have Center Training Officer CTO at Castle Hayne, which Cape Fear Community College, April 3rd through April 5th. We have Advanced Police Dispatching, the same location, April 11th. Enhanced Caller Management, also at Cape Fear Community College, April 12th. 911 Customer Service, Take Seconds, Save Minutes, at the same location, Cape Fear Community College, April 13th. And 911 Center Culture, a strategy for personal and organizational success, offered at Cape Fear Community College, April 28th. And as mentioned earlier, High Point is hosting an APCO supervisor course March 31st through April 2nd. That's the education.
You want to just do the next part will be our TERT steering committee. Jason and myself met with North Carolina EM, and we'll just say good things will be coming in the near future. Very good conversation. We're trying to get ourselves back engaged more of being a liaison between the PSAPs and North Carolina EM. All PSAPs, not just the ones that are recognized. So it's just a partnership that we're going to be rebuilding. So let me pass it on to Vic.
Yeah, Mr. President, I don't have anything to report on this story.
Thank you very much. All right, on to new business here. I have a couple of items to work through here, and we'll try to wrap it up as quickly as we can. I would like to start off by saying that North Carolina NENA is working on a number of things and to remember Bill French, and to include the beginning of a scholarship fund that we're still working out on the details on exactly how to manage and do that. But I can think of no better way to honor Bill than through making certifications and education in this industry more available to him. I think you're going to hear a little more about this in the next couple of months, but please stay tuned and know that we are looking for a number of ways to keep his spirit alive and well within us. That is a profound loss for me and our board, and I know for all of you out there who knew and loved Bill. So please consider when you get more details about this from the associations in supporting and remembering Bill by donating to these funds. All right. Along that line, I have the very sad duty to appoint a new Eastern Region representative as the acting Eastern Region representative to fulfill Bill's term until May of 2024. And I can think of no finer person than Victor Williams to do that. So Vic, if you will please come up, and Melanie, we're going to cry together. I'm going to ask for your help. If you would please come up as well.
You'll raise your right hand. You have been duly appointed to the office in which you are about to enter by vote of the chapter membership. This vote bestows upon you confidence and trust and places in your hands the duties of your office as written in the bylaws of this chapter. Do you solemnly affirm that you accept this responsibility, this confidence, and this establishment of duty, and that you will support the bylaws of the North Carolina chapter of NENA and will faithfully perform the duties of your position to the best of your knowledge, skill, and ability?
I know Vic and Bill were very close. They advised each other in both directions. And I know you're going to do him well, Vic. Thank you. All right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to skip around on what is on our written agenda, just one item here. And we have some bylaw amendments that will be voted on at the annual conference. These will be posted along with our minutes and will go out in an email to all of the members as well, so that you can read them in full before we vote on them at the chapter business meeting during the conference. This is to establish our newly appointed wellness committee and peer support team that was created by me at the beginning of my term. For those of you who are not aware, we have a number of standing committees that are annually established in our bylaws and move on from board session to board session, or board term to board term rather. For anything else, they are all done by presidential appointment, and all of those committees or offices expire with the outgoing president. So the Wellness Committee and the board has worked on the following entries that will be put forward to the chapter membership for approval at the May meeting to establish the Wellness Committee and peer support team, along with a fund to support their operations as a part of our bylaws to keep that as a permanent standing group. So they read as follows. The North Carolina NINA Wellness Committee shall be co-chaired by the Eastern, Central, and Western Region Wellness Directors, corresponding with the geographical regions defined in the bylaws for North Carolina NINA's regional board representatives. Wellness directors will serve for a period of 2 years with no restriction on the number of terms served consecutively or in total. Qualifications for regional director are as follows. Each of the regional wellness directors must be a member of North Carolina NINA in good standing, must either work or reside within the region being represented, and must currently serve or have previously served as a telecommunicator in this state. Regional directors must be certified in peer support and meet all minimum requirements for experience, education, or certification as defined by the Wellness Committee and peer support team bylaws, policies, and procedures. Prospective regional wellness directors must submit a letter of interest, current resume, and letter of support from the applicant's agency or department clearly articulating support for, but not limited to, time and expenses related to attendance at bi-monthly chapter meetings, the North Carolina Public Safety Communications Conference, the NINA Wellness Retreat, and any periodic peer support team deployments or continuing education and training sessions. In the event of a vacancy, the chapter president shall ask for an open call of interested members. The chapter president, in concert with the Wellness Committee, shall consider all applicants and recommend an appointee to the executive board for confirmation. The appointment will be confirmed by a majority vote of the executive board. Qualifications of Wellness Committee and peer team support members. Prospective Wellness Committee and or peer support team members must submit a letter of interest, current resume, and letter of support from the applicant's agency or department clearly stating support for, but not limited to, periodic online and in-person committee meetings, team deployments, or continuing education trainings for team members. Members are strongly encouraged but not required to attend all NC NINA events throughout the year. Members must meet all minimum requirements for experience, education, or certification as defined by the Wellness Committee and peer support team bylaws, policies, and procedures. And the last section is the North Carolina NINA Wellness Fund. North Carolina NINA shall establish the NINA Wellness Fund to support the function and initiatives of the Wellness Committee and peer support team. This fund shall be maintained as a separate checking account from the chapter's other funds and accounts, such as the general fund, savings account, etc., with monies contained therein dedicated solely to the wellness and peer support functions and initiatives. The Wellness Committee shall manage this account in consultation with the chapter treasurer and chapter president, who may designate a separate wellness fund financial officer if desired. The Wellness Committee and or the Wellness Fund financial officer shall report a full accounting of all income and expenditures monthly at the minimum to the chapter treasurer and the executive board. So if you have questions or comments or amendments to these, please get them to us in writing. You can email them to me or any member of the board between now and in May. But these will go out so that you all can read them and review them, and they will be on the table for discussion and vote to be added to our bylaws during the business meeting at the May conference. All right. Last but not least here, we're going to do the introduction of our candidates for board offices. The voting for all the board offices will open today. All NINA members will receive a direct email with their electronic ballot. So this is similar to the way the national elections function. You will get an email from NINA if you have an active membership to whatever email address is listed on your membership on the National NINA website. So if you're not sure what that is, go to nina.org and check your profile and update that today before the end of business to whatever you want it to be. Those will go out this evening, and ballots will close on Sunday, April 16th. The only office on the ballot will be the office of second vice president, as our secretary is running unopposed. So we'll start off with our two candidates for second vice president, and I will invite you, if you would like, to come to the microphone and introduce yourself and say a few words. We'll start with the nominee from Charlotte Medic, Ms. Corinne Wasser.
Hey, guys. The camera stops. Oh, no, I have notes. This is not going to work. Okay. I'll scooch in here.
This is going to be nice and adjusted over there.
Oh, that's
So you're
good.
good.
Okay, I'm going
Thank
back.
you,
Can't make up my mind. So I'm Corinne Walser. I am from Charlotte Medic. I have been there for 27 years now. I have spent 32 years in the PSAP community, with 5 years prior to that, in Kentucky. So I just want to speak for a few moments and talk about myself a little bit, which is not something that I find it easy to do. I think my biggest challenge through 911 has just been the learning that never stops and making sure that you're staying ahead of the next big thing. But also the realization in that I don't have to do that by myself, that I can lean on others. That's something that took a while to get across to me. Because I'm a doer, I'm type A personality like all of us and like to kind of take it all and not let others help. So that has probably been my biggest learning challenge through the last few years. But I have learned through conferences, through meetings, through classes that I can depend on all of the people in this room to learn from, and that networking is so very important. So do not let that opportunity pass you by. Just kind of try to step out of your box and make sure that you talk to others and that you interact with others and just enjoy yourselves as well. My husband, Harrison, and I have been married since 2008. So I got married a little bit late in life. I have two sons. One is my bonus son, who is a junior at Montreat University in Black Mountain, North Carolina. And then I have a 6th grader, Benjamin, who is at Porter Ridge Middle School in Indian Trail. When I'm not at work, I like to read. I like to learn new things. I've also taken up a habit of writing, or a new hobby of writing. So we'll see how that goes, which is just something that I've always loved to do. I'm basketball mom, baseball mom. And so, so March Madness is a big deal in our house. I am a Kentucky fan by birth, but North Carolina fan by marriage. So it's a big deal in our house this time of year. I also enjoy spending time with my family. Favorite spot is the beach or our farm in Kentucky. So those are two places that we like to go and just kind of disconnect. And I guess lastly, just would like to have your vote. But before I close out, I just want to tell a funny story that happened to me this week. My 6th grader, my straight A, perfect attendance 6th grader, spent 2 days this week in school suspension. So he's a super good kid with a really big heart. And so he ended up throwing the first punch in a fight. He did not make contact. However, the other kid did make contact with my son's jaw in the second punch that was thrown. So off they both went to the assistant principal's office to receive their discipline. So, he came home, his dad called, we're on the phone, and my first reaction is just fury. I mean, I'm so mad. And the more I stopped, took a deep breath, took a second deep breath and listened to him, the more I realized that he was at fault because he did throw the first punch, but he threw the first punch in an attempt to prevent bullying that he and his buddies had been subject to by this other kid and another friend of his. So we spent a long time talking about that and what his better options are. And of course, my first was, you need to tell another adult. And he's like, but I did. And I'm like, wait, what? He's like, I told the teacher and he talked to them, but it didn't stop. So it didn't stop there. So we did the, appropriate thing. We left him in the in-school suspension, didn't throw too big a fit, but maybe a little bit. I just had to get my son's story in. And then on Wednesday night, after he had finished his ISS, we were at church at youth group and he comes running up to me and he's like, hey mom, guess who's here? And I'm like, who? And he's like, Braden, this is the kid that punched him. And I'm like, do you want to go home? Are you okay? My first reaction was that he was going to say, I want to go home. I can't stay. No, he said, no. He said, that's not what you've taught me. He's like, I'll just be nice and it'll be fine. And I'm like, wow, super proud mom motive. So next morning we run to Chick-fil-A before school. School doesn't start until 9:05. So we're in line at Chick-fil-A and it's a Chick-fil-A that I frequent often. I'm a big sweet tea fan. That's kind of my drink of choice. And they're like, wait, Miss Corinne, as I'm getting ready to pull away. And they come and they've got this basket and it's wrapped and it's got goodies in it, gift card, all this stuff and a handwritten note. And so I had Benjamin read the handwritten note because, now I'm driving and he's like, Mom, it's just because you're so nice to people. And I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, the same thing that I just learned this week is what you just got recognized for. And I was like, okay, so maybe it is just more important to just be kind. So I just want to tell you, when you think you're at your wit's end, just really just be nice to people and let them, and that will work. It'll all work out in the end if you just be nice and work together and develop your plan. So I just had to tell that story. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Corinne. All right, next up is Mr. Stephen Smith, Second Vice President candidate.
Hello, everybody. I'm Stephen Smith. I work at Iredell County Emergency Communications Center. But a little bit of a story about me. I'm retired military. I was in the Air Force, so I've been all over the world. While in the Air Force, I was law enforcement. So when I retired, I went out for about 3.5 years, worked for a couple different civilian agencies. While down in Texas, which is where I kind of stopped my law enforcement career, I was part of the Disabled American Veterans Organization, and that's a DAV for disabled vets. We started our first chapter down there in Granbury, Texas, and I was unanimously appointed as the commander of that DAV group. Since that year passed, I came up here. Our daughter moved down here while I was on my last stint up in New Jersey. So her and her boyfriend at the time came down here. He went to the NASCAR Tech Institute and they've since settled here. So we moved back here years later to be a part of their family because they were getting married, pursuing that family life. So which led me to joining Candy with Iredell County. I started off as a telecommunicator there because of my law enforcement background. I was on the law side. And then I was also going to school at the time for IT, for networking and technology. So that's where I kind of since have gotten along with the board here. Graciously, Jason appointed me as his media tech person. But I've learned so much about this committee. Not only the things that the NINA board has done with the wellness stuff, but the future and the growth that is coming, and I've seen a lot and heard a lot already. I foresee the wellness stuff taking off big time. And I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of helping our telecommunicators because it is not easy, especially if you get green people who have never dealt with the emergency response side into your centers. It takes a toll on them. So that's kind of one of the things that I want to be a part of. I want to continue that with us. And I hope to get your all's vote for second vice president. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Stephen. All righty. And then last but not least, we have our candidate for the office of chapter secretary. She is also our current Central Region Wellness Director, Ashley Warner from Knightdale. Ashley is unable to be with us today because she is traveling to another conference, but she is with us online on Zoom. And so technology permitting here, I'm going to also ask her to at least briefly introduce herself. Ashley, are you able to join us?
Are y'all able to hear me?
There she is. All right. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, everybody. Unfortunately, I'm not able to attend as I am at a evidence conference presenting this week. But I am currently serving as the Central Region Wellness Director for NINA, but I have put in for secretary because I would love to continue the involvement and growth with this awesome organization. I previously was a telecommunicator for 5 years with Raleigh-Wake Emergency Communications and still have a great relationship with them and continue to work with them with the support with their telecommunicators. But I feel like getting onto the board and continuing my education, not only in the history, but the present and the future of this organization, I feel like I would be able to handle that as well as continue my journey with the wellness. So I appreciate hopefully this next journey as secretary.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley. And I know we couldn't see you. I can see you on my screen, at least as I'm looking at you here. So she is joining us with a big smile on her face, but our view in the room is not showing you, but thank you, Ashley. Again, Ashley is running unopposed. So she is our chapter secretary elect and will not be on the ballot that you guys receive, but those ballots will be coming out this evening. And you will be able to cast your vote for either Stephen or Corinne for second vice president. And we wish them both good luck in their race. So let me flip back to my agenda here. Polly is ready to be done with us, I think. Winston, my other dog is Polly. They look exactly like. He should probably just be Polly the second here. Anyway, that is the last item that we have on our agenda. Does anyone else have new business or anything for the good of the association before we adjourn? Yes, sir. Thank you. We do have our Nina store that was available a couple of years ago. Stephen, if you didn't know, has been pretty much single-handedly responsible for rewriting and getting our website back online. So we do now have our Nina store open where you can pick up your swag. So if you want shirts, hats, sweaters, jackets, all sorts of things, please go to our Nina store and check those items out. Any proceeds from that do go back to the chapter and to help with our wellness initiatives as well. So you can find all of that on our website at ncnina.org. Thank you, sir. Anything else?
The shipping on that, we're working with Carolina Custom Promotions to strategically pick those orders up in kind of a bulk purchase. So let's say you purchase now, we can try to have that material or that merchandise at the conference available for you to pick up. We'll have the order information so we'll know who placed what orders, but we're trying to do that to save you guys costs on the shipping aspect because it is extremely high.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. All right. Final call for anything for the good of the association. All right. If not, I would move that we adjourn. Do we have a second? Thank you, Vic. All in favor? Aye. All right, we will adjourn for Christine 5:10. All right. For those of you online and those here in the room, we will be back in 10 minutes, which will bring us back at 11:15 for the North Carolina APCO meeting. Thank you.